good morning to you once again. This is Mr. Moses, still continuing with our subject or discipline known as the instrument methods of teaching social studies. It is our major emphasis that, or it is our major topic that we are still looking at, or what we can call a discipline. And last week we looked at different things, how to make social studies as a discipline to be vital or to be important to learners. Then also we looked at different things also there concerning how best can we make or motivate learners to be doing social studies as a discipline or as a subject. Now we are going to be pushing on from a new thing there, where there is what is the best way to teach social studies. I remember we talked about that some time back, whereby we talked about bringing historical topics to life is one of the criteria, or one of the ways that we can also be used. I went ahead and also talked about to act out historical events, or give out some historical events. Then the other we talked about is give students an experience or experimental experience from the environment. Then the other we also talked about try to give controversial topics so that learners can easily critically think about those questions. And now we are going to be looking at the importance, why should we study, or we are looking at the importance of social studies in schools as a subject. They are saying that social studies plays a very critical role in the colleges pre-curriculum, and also takes abroad humanitarian approaches to understand or to teach our students about the ideas, their cultures, people, and also events that shape our world. And they are saying that within the social studies class, we engage critical thinking skills that helps students to succeed on the college campuses and also in their professional careers. That is a brief summary about the importance, but when we continue, they say that when you study social studies, it helps us to understand our culture or cultural understanding. Hereby we try to see that many countries, all students get to learn their vastity of various people, their culture that is changing within the communities that they tend to live in. They come with different things that they intervene within the community by studying about the world's population from both historical aspects, sociological aspects that make up the global community. These people are able to understand their perspectives that help them to understand their cultures, and also how cultures have been changing on and over. Then the other that we can also talk about is the citizen responsibility. Citizen responsibility as a social studies class. This one helps students understand their responsibility, that citizens they are included, or they include themselves to have their communities. This one mainly looks at the levels of governments and functions, and also how to become familiar with the roles that citizens play in shaping the legal and political landscape. Therefore, students can also be able to gain the ability to compare and also critically analyze the different government stages when they undergo what we call studying social studies as a discipline. They will be able to tell their roles as a citizen and what they have to play in shaping up the world, or in individual shape up of a person when he or she goes on with studying social studies as a discipline. When we move on, there is also what we call the economics the economic education part. Here we are looking at economics is an important part of social studies that students carry out them throughout life, understanding how economic system tend to work in higher schools. Students become better informed, and also citizens provide a foundation for businesses worldwide, and also it helps the managers, or it helps them to become their own managers of finances on how to treat their expenses concerning how things tend to run. Then the other is also complements the gap or prepares programs we offer in different levels of academic journey for the someone when he or he is running finance aspects. That is also another thing to consider. When we move on, we are going to be looking at the approaches to teach this discipline or to teach social studies as a subject. The first thing what we have to notice is that there are different approaches that can be taken or that can be used to teaching social studies as a subject. The first thing is that is the core knowledge. Usually the core knowledge should be obtained in different subjects concerning teaching social studies. For instance, you have to incorporate history and geography at the early stage, so that the core knowledge or approach uses stories. You can also use stories, talk about dramas, and therefore you can also incorporate in what we call discussions to teach about the significant people, places, and also events, so that a learner is able to grasp some knowledge or to have content during the session. Therefore, the other thing they are talking about the core knowledge is that the curriculum is often organized according to the understanding of logical content must be taught squishing. What they are trying to mean is that they try to arrange the scope of coverage concerning to how events try to flow in order to enable learners to understand from simplest to complex, or from one topic to the other while following different events. Then the other is that expanding community. With the expanding community approach here, we are trying to see that the curriculum around the students present everyday experiences. In other words, here the young grade, in other words, the students must or might learn about themselves. For example, as they move through the grades, they focus gradually broaden in the scopes to familiar, or they try to grasp some information since they try to expand a wide scope of range of coverage that he briefs them about different things. And they are saying that neighbors talk about cities, talk about provinces, and also groups. So when you are conducting a session or teaching social studies at discipline, you must also expand your experiences or expand your ideas to neighborhood. Talk about cities, talked about provinces, counties, and also the globe, so that this one tends to have less focus on history than the core knowledge. So you try to also expand, leave alone basing on history and geography, but also integrate other subjects or integrate other regions to help you to understand the subject. Then they talk about thematic approach. This one organizes the curriculum around the themes or around certain themes. I talk about cultural universals. Students might spend time focusing on only food rather than focusing on transportation and also government. So that one is also a major concern depending to studying social studies as a discipline. When we go on, we are going to look at Why social studies? Why social studies so boring? Why is it boring for the learners or for someone that may be taking it as a discipline or as a course, where we shall be picking up next time from?